She was there to track supplies, not make life or death decisions. But when a missile misfired and time was running out, she stepped up to the control panel, entered a command no one had taught her, and changed the outcome of the mission entirely. Specialist Becca Chen had been assigned to Naval Special Warfare Training Center for exactly 12 weeks. At 5 feet 3 inches with short black hair always pulled back with practical clips and dark brown eyes that seemed to focus intensely on inventory lists and supply schedules, she moved through her duties with the kind of meticulous attention to detail that made her practically invisible to most personnel. She carried a military-issue clipboard, a tablet computer for tracking equipment, and what appeared to be standard supply management materials that reinforced her role as logistics support. To the SEAL candidates and training staff, she was simply their assigned supply clerk, competent at inventory management, reliable for equipment tracking, but clearly designated for administrative functions that kept her away from any tactical or operational responsibilities. The candidates understood her role to be strictly administrative and non-operational. She was there to ensure that training equipment was properly maintained, supplies were adequately stocked, and inventory records were accurately kept. Her responsibilities were support functions that enabled training operations but didn't involve any participation in tactical exercises, combat training, or decision-making processes that could affect mission outcomes. Specialist Chen followed these administrative guidelines precisely, maintaining detailed records of equipment usage, coordinating supply deliveries, and managing inventory with the kind of systematic efficiency that kept training operations running smoothly. Her presence was professional but purely logistical, exactly what was expected from support personnel in a special operations training environment focused on developing warriors rather than administrators. But sometimes the most administrative people possess the most operational knowledge. Welcome to Silent Salute, where we discover that logistical expertise often conceals tactical capabilities. Before we continue this incredible story, tell us in the comments which country you're watching from today. And if you believe that the people managing supplies often understand operations better than anyone realizes, hit that subscribe button to support our channel. We're honored to share these remarkable stories with you. Class 341 was particularly demanding. 24 candidates from diverse military backgrounds, all pushing themselves through training designed to forge America's most elite warriors. The daily routine was relentless: brutal physical conditioning, advanced weapons training, underwater demolition exercises, tactical simulations, and psychological challenges that tested every aspect of human endurance and mental toughness. Through it all, Specialist Chen managed the complex logistics that made their training possible, tracking equipment usage, maintaining supply inventories, and coordinating the material support that enabled intensive special operations training. The candidates rarely interacted with Specialist Chen beyond equipment checkout procedures and supply requests. She was competent at managing training materials, efficient in her inventory systems, and reliable for logistical support. But she was also remarkably focused on administrative details, never engaging in tactical discussions, never offering opinions about training procedures, and never indicating any interest in or knowledge of military operations beyond her supply management responsibilities. Among the candidates was Gunnery Sergeant Marcus Rivera, a former Marine Corps explosive ordnance disposal specialist who'd served multiple combat deployments before applying for SEAL training. Rivera was respected by his fellow candidates for his technical expertise and combat experience, but he shared the common view that Specialist Chen was strictly administrative support with limited understanding of operational realities. Chen knows her inventory systems, Rivera had commented to his teammate during their 11th week, but she's clearly here for logistics rather than operational understanding. Probably never seen military operations outside of supply chain management. Petty Officer Jackson, who'd served as a Navy logistics specialist before SEAL training, offered some perspective. Supply management is critical for operations, Rivera. Good logistics personnel understand more about missions than most people realize. But Rivera's observation reflected the broader perception among the candidates. Specialist Chen seemed like standard military logistics support who was competent within her designated administrative role, but who lacked the operational experience and tactical understanding that characterized special operations personnel. The situation that would change everything began during the 13th week of training, when Class 341 was scheduled for advanced explosive ordnance training. This was one of the most technically demanding phases of SEAL training, where candidates learned sophisticated demolition techniques, mine detection procedures, and explosive device neutralization that could mean the difference between mission success and catastrophic failure in operational environments. The training was being conducted at a specialized facility designed for realistic explosive ordnance scenarios, including a carefully controlled minefield area where candidates could practice mine detection and clearance procedures under safe but realistic conditions. The facility was equipped with training mines that simulated various types of explosive devices without containing actual explosives that could cause injury. Specialist Chen was assigned to manage the logistical support for the explosive ordnance training, ensuring that detection equipment was properly maintained, training materials were adequately supplied, and inventory records accurately reflected equipment usage during the demanding exercises. Her role was purely administrative: track supplies, maintain equipment, and coordinate logistics without any involvement in the tactical or technical aspects of explosive ordnance operations. The explosive ordnance training was intensive and technically complex, designed to teach candidates sophisticated skills in mine detection, explosive device identification, and clearance procedures that required precision, patience, and advanced technical knowledge. Explosive ordnance operations, explained Master Chief Petty Officer Torres, the senior instructor, require understanding that one mistake can be fatal. These procedures aren't just technical skills, they're life and death capabilities that protect both operators and civilians. The training progression included mine detection techniques, explosive device analysis, and clearance procedures that replicated the challenges candidates would face in operational environments where explosive threats posed constant danger to special operations missions. During one particularly complex training evolution, Torres had set up a realistic minefield scenario where candidates had to navigate through a designated area containing various types of training mines while maintaining tactical movement and communication procedures. This minefield contains 12 different types of training devices, Torres explained to the candidates preparing for the exercise. Your mission is to clear a safe passage for team movement while identifying and neutralizing each explosive threat. The candidates began the minefield clearance operation with the systematic procedures they had learned, using detection equipment to identify buried training mines and applying clearance techniques to neutralize simulated explosive devices. Specialist Chun was observing the exercise from her designated logistics position, monitoring equipment usage and maintaining inventory records while the candidates conducted their technical training. But as the exercise progressed, it became clear that the candidates were struggling with the complexity of the minefield scenario. Despite their training and Torres's instruction, they were having difficulty maintaining systematic clearance procedures while managing the tactical requirements of team movement under pressure. "You're missing threats," Torres called out to the candidates working in the minefield. "Your detection patterns aren't comprehensive, and you're leaving gaps that could compromise team safety." The candidates tried different approaches to the clearance procedures, but the scenario was designed to test their ability to maintain systematic operations under stress, and many were becoming overwhelmed by the technical and tactical challenges of minefield operations. During a particularly challenging section of the exercise, one of the candidates triggered a training mine that simulated a serious injury scenario. The candidate wasn't actually hurt, but the simulation required immediate medical evacuation while maintaining minefield clearance operations. "Medical emergency in the minefield," Torres announced. "You need to evacuate the casualty while continuing clearance operations and maintaining team safety." The simulation created exactly the kind of complex, multifaceted challenge that special operations personnel encountered in actual combat. Technical operations requiring precision while managing emergencies and maintaining mission effectiveness. As the candidates worked to manage the simulated medical emergency while continuing minefield operations, their clearance procedures became even less systematic and effective. The combination of medical response requirements and technical clearance challenges was overwhelming their ability to maintain safe and effective operations. Specialist Chun was continuing her inventory monitoring from her logistics position, but she was also observing the candidates' struggles with growing concern about their safety and effectiveness. The situation became critical when the candidates' clearance procedures missed a significant section of the minefield that contained multiple training devices. Their gaps in coverage created a dangerous situation where team movement could encounter undetected explosive threats. "Stop," Torres called out, halting the exercise for safety reasons. "Your clearance pattern has left multiple threats undetected. This would be a mission failure with potential casualties." Torres began explaining the errors in the candidates' clearance procedures, pointing out the gaps in their detection patterns and the systematic mistakes that had compromised the effectiveness of their operations. But as Torres conducted his critique of the exercise, Specialist Chen did something unexpected that would change everything about how the facility understood her capabilities. She approached Torres with her tablet computer and began showing him detailed analysis of the candidates' clearance patterns, including precise identification of the gaps in their coverage and specific recommendations for improving their systematic procedures. "Master Chief Torres," Chen said quietly, "I've been tracking the candidates' movement patterns and detection coverage. There are specific systematic improvements that could enhance their clearance effectiveness." Torres looked at Chen's tablet display with surprise, recognizing that her analysis was far more sophisticated than typical logistics tracking. "Specialist Chen, this is detailed technical analysis of minefield clearance procedures. How did you develop this level of understanding of explosive ordnance operations?" Chen's response was characteristically modest. "Logistics tracking requires understanding of operational procedures to ensure proper equipment support, Master Chief." But Torres could see that Chen's analysis exceeded standard logistics knowledge and approached the expertise level of experienced explosive ordnance specialists. "Specialist Chen, your technical analysis suggests advanced understanding of minefield operations. What's your background?" Chen seemed to be considering how much information to reveal about her qualifications and experience. Previous assignments required understanding of explosive ordnance procedures and mine clearance operations for effective logistics support. Rivera, who had been listening to the conversation, approached with obvious curiosity about Chen's unexpected technical knowledge. "Specialist, what kind of logistics assignments require advanced understanding of mine clearance procedures?" Chen's answer provided some insight into military roles that integrated logistics with technical operations. Assignments where logistics personnel supported explosive ordnance operations and where supply management required understanding of technical procedures and safety requirements. Torres was beginning to understand that Chen's capabilities might extend beyond standard logistics functions. "Specialist Chen, would you be willing to demonstrate the systematic procedures you've identified? Your analysis suggests expertise that could enhance our training." Chen considered the request carefully, understanding that demonstrating minefield procedures would reveal capabilities that exceeded her assigned logistics role. "Master Chief, I could demonstrate the systematic approaches that would improve clearance effectiveness, but my primary responsibility is logistics support." Torres was clearly interested in Chen's technical knowledge. "Specialist Chen, if you're comfortable demonstrating these procedures, your expertise could significantly enhance candidate training." What happened next shocked everyone in the training area. Chen approached the minefield with the kind of confident, systematic movement that characterized experienced explosive ordnance specialists. Her approach to mine detection was methodical, precise, and demonstrated advanced understanding of minefield clearance procedures that exceeded the capabilities of most military personnel. Using the detection equipment with expert skill, Chen began systematically clearing the minefield section that the candidates had struggled with, identifying training mines with speed and accuracy that demonstrated extensive experience with explosive ordnance operations. "Systematic clearance requires overlapping detection patterns," Chen explained as she worked, "with verification procedures that ensure comprehensive coverage and multiple confirmation methods for each potential threat." Her clearance techniques were sophisticated and efficient, demonstrating procedures that reflected advanced training and extensive practical experience with mine detection and clearance operations. As Chun continued her demonstration, she identified and neutralized multiple training mines that the candidates had missed, clearing a safe passage through the complex minefield with the kind of systematic precision that characterized expert-level explosive ordnance operations. "Ma'am," Rivera said with obvious amazement, "those are advanced EOD procedures. Where did you learn those techniques?" Chen was completing her minefield clearance while responding. previous assignments that required explosive ordnance capabilities for effective logistics support in mine-contaminated environments. Jackson asked the question everyone was thinking. Ma'am, what kind of assignments require logistics personnel to have advanced EOD training? Chen's answer provided insight into military roles that most personnel rarely encountered. Assignments where logistics operations had to be conducted in areas contaminated with explosive devices, and where supply personnel needed full EOD capabilities to ensure mission success. Torres was clearly impressed by Chen's demonstration and growing understanding of her advanced capabilities. Specialist Chen, your explosive ordnance expertise is at the expert level. Have you served with EOD units? Chen nodded while organizing her equipment. I've served in assignments where logistics personnel functioned as full EOD specialists, and where supply responsibilities required complete explosive ordnance, training, and operational experience. Master Chief Williams, who had arrived to observe the training exercise, was processing the implications of what Chen had revealed. Specialist Chen, EOD expertise combined with logistics knowledge represents exactly the kind of integrated capability that modern special operations requires. The conversation was interrupted when the facility's emergency alarm activated, indicating a serious weapons malfunction that required immediate technical response. A training missile had experienced a guidance system failure during a separate exercise, creating a potentially dangerous situation that required expert intervention. Weapons malfunction, the facility's public address system announced. Missile guidance failure requiring immediate technical response. The missile malfunction had created a situation where the training weapon was operating outside its programmed parameters and posed potential danger to personnel and facilities. The guidance system failure required immediate technical intervention to regain control or safely neutralize the weapon. Torres was coordinating the emergency response when he realized that the missile system's technical requirements exceeded the expertise available from standard personnel. The guidance system malfunction required advanced technical knowledge that combined explosive ordnance expertise with sophisticated electronics and weapons systems knowledge. We need someone with both EOD and weapons systems expertise, Torres reported to the emergency response team. This malfunction requires technical capabilities that exceed standard training. The facility's technical personnel were working to address the missile malfunction, but the guidance system failure involved complex electronics and safety procedures that required specialized knowledge. Specialist Chun was observing the emergency response from her logistics position, but as she listened to the technical discussions, it became clear that she understood the weapons system involved and the procedures required for safe intervention. Master Chief Torres, Chen said quietly, approaching the emergency coordination area. I have experience with the missile system that's malfunctioned. I might be able to assist with the technical response. Torres looked at Chun with surprise, recognizing that missile systems expertise represented another level of advanced technical knowledge beyond her demonstrated EOD capabilities. Specialist Chun, missile systems require extremely specialized technical knowledge. Are you qualified to work with weapons guidance systems? Chen's response was characteristically understated. Previous assignments required weapons systems knowledge in addition to EOD capabilities. But the emergency situation required immediate technical intervention, and Chen's offer of assistance was the most qualified expertise available for addressing the missile malfunction. Specialist Chun, if you're confident in your weapons systems knowledge, we need immediate technical intervention to prevent potential danger. Chen approached the missile system control panel with the kind of confident technical competence that suggested extensive experience with advanced weapons systems. Her understanding of the guidance electronics was immediately apparent as she assessed the malfunction and began implementing corrective procedures. Guidance system failure caused by software conflict in the targeting protocols, Chen announced as she worked with the control systems. Requires manual override of the automated systems and implementation of emergency shutdown procedures. Her technical procedures were sophisticated and precise, demonstrating advanced knowledge of missile systems that exceeded the capabilities of most military technical personnel. As Chun worked with the weapons system controls, she entered commands and implemented procedures that successfully regained control of the malfunctioned missile and guided it to a safe emergency landing area away from personnel and facilities. Missile secured. Chen reported as she completed the emergency intervention. Guidance system has been safely shut down and the weapon is in controlled emergency landing configuration. The emergency response team confirmed that the missile threat had been eliminated and that Chen's technical intervention had successfully resolved the dangerous malfunction. Rivera, who had witnessed both Chen's minefield demonstration and her missile systems intervention, approached with obvious respect and growing understanding of her advanced capabilities. Ma'am, EOD expertise and missile systems knowledge represent extremely specialized technical training. What's your actual background? Chen seemed to be considering how much information to reveal about her qualifications and previous assignments. My previous assignments required integration of logistics, explosive ordnance, and weapons systems capabilities for missions where traditional specialization wasn't adequate for operational requirements. Williams was beginning to understand the full implications of Chen's technical expertise. Specialist Chen, your combination of EOD and weapons systems knowledge suggests experience with extremely specialized units. Have you served with technical special operations forces? Chen's response confirmed what many had begun to suspect. I've served in assignments where logistics personnel functioned as technical specialists with full EOD and weapons systems qualifications, and where supply responsibilities required complete operational integration with technical mission requirements. Torres was clearly impressed by both Chen's minefield demonstration and her missile systems intervention. Ma'am, your technical capabilities represent exactly the kind of integrated expertise that modern special operations requires for complex missions involving multiple technical challenges. The combination of Chen's minefield clearance expertise and her missile systems intervention had demonstrated capabilities that fundamentally changed how everyone at the facility understood her role and qualifications. Specialist Chen, Williams said, I think it's time we discussed expanding your role here beyond logistics functions. Your technical capabilities could significantly enhance our training programs. Chen considered the proposal, understanding that her technical expertise could contribute to SEAL training in ways that hadn't been available before. Master Chief, I'd be willing to share technical procedures that could enhance candidate preparation for operations involving explosive ordnance and weapons systems challenges. Over the following weeks, Chen transitioned from her cover role as routine logistics support to active participation in multiple technical aspects of SEAL training. Her combination of EOD expertise, weapons systems knowledge, and logistics understanding created training opportunities that reflected the integrated nature of modern special operations. What Specialist Chen brings to our program, Williams explained to the training staff, is demonstration that modern special operations requires integration of logistics, technical, and operational capabilities rather than separation of these functions. Chen worked with candidates and instructors to develop training scenarios that included explosive ordnance challenges during logistics operations, weapons systems malfunctions requiring technical intervention, and complex situations where multiple technical capabilities had to be integrated for mission success. The operations I've participated in, Chen explained to the candidates, required understanding that logistics, EOD, and weapons systems responsibilities are integrated functions. Effective special operations personnel must be prepared to contribute across all technical requirements. Her training scenarios included realistic explosive ordnance threats during supply operations, weapons systems failures requiring immediate technical response, and decision-making exercises that integrated logistics and technical considerations under operational pressure. Rivera, who had initially viewed Chen as routine logistics support, became one of her most dedicated students. Ma'am, your approach to integrating logistics expertise with technical capabilities has completely changed how I think about special operations. You've shown us that the most effective operators are those who can contribute across multiple technical disciplines. Chen's tablet computer and inventory tracking systems, which had initially seemed like standard administrative equipment, were revealed to contain sophisticated technical analysis software that provided capabilities essential for modern special operations involving complex technical challenges. These systems, Chen explained to the technical staff, represent integrated technical capabilities that enable logistics and operational personnel to analyze and respond to complex technical challenges in real time. The Minefield demonstration that had revealed Chen's EOD expertise became a model for training that integrated logistics and technical capabilities under pressure, demonstrating how supply management knowledge could be enhanced by explosive ordnance expertise. Chen's integrated training programs were eventually adopted throughout Special Operations Commands, establishing new standards for logistics technical integration that enhanced the effectiveness of special operations personnel worldwide. But perhaps Chen's greatest contribution was demonstrating that logistics expertise often conceals technical capabilities, and that the people managing supplies often understand operations better than anyone realizes. The story of Specialist Chen became legendary at the training facility, shared with new classes as an example of how logistics personnel often possess advanced technical capabilities that exceed their assigned roles, and how the most valuable team members are often those whose full qualifications remain hidden until technical emergencies reveal their expertise. The most important lesson you can learn here, instructors would tell new candidates, is that logistics personnel often possess the most comprehensive understanding of operations. The person tracking supplies might be the one most capable of solving complex technical challenges. The candidate's assumption that Chen was strictly administrative support became a reminder that logistics roles often conceal technical capabilities, and that the most essential technical expertise is often found among those who seem focused on routine administrative functions. Years later, when Chen had transitioned to other assignments, her legacy lived on in the enhanced training programs she developed and in the understanding that true operational excellence requires recognizing and utilizing the technical capabilities of all team members, regardless of their assigned administrative roles. Her story reminded everyone that in special operations, as in life, the most dangerous assumptions are those we make about people assigned to logistics roles, because the most organized people are often those who possess the most advanced technical capabilities. Chen's clipboard and supply tracking responsibilities had concealed EOD expertise and weapon systems knowledge that exceeded the capabilities of most special operations personnel, demonstrating that critical technical expertise often hides behind the most routine administrative assignments. The missile malfunction emergency that revealed her weapons systems expertise became a defining moment that established new standards for recognizing and utilizing integrated technical capabilities, regardless of official job descriptions or assigned logistics functions. Her transformation from supply clerk to recognized technical expert demonstrated that the most critical team members are often those whose true capabilities remain hidden until emergencies reveal who really has the technical skills to solve complex operational challenges and change mission outcomes entirely. This story was brought to you by Silent Salute. Before we leave you today, here's our question. Have you ever discovered that someone assigned to administrative or logistics roles actually possessed advanced technical capabilities that far exceeded their job description? Have you encountered people whose routine assignments concealed extraordinary expertise? Tell us in the comments about the moments when you realized that logistics personnel often possess the most comprehensive operational knowledge. And if you believe that the people tracking supplies often understand operations better than anyone realizes, hit that subscribe button to support our channel. Every story reminds us that administrative roles often conceal technical expertise, and that the most valuable team members are often those whose true capabilities remain hidden until crises reveal their mission-critical potential. We'll see you in the next story, where we'll discover another incredible tale of hidden technical expertise behind routine assignments.